Hello, everybody. And then in the Avdiivka area, I'm going to try to get confirmation of this tomorrow. But there's news that Russia captured the town of Vesele, which is right here. And I need to get confirmation of this. Vesele is a town that is so small it's not labeled on the map. It used to be labeled on the map, which is why I know it's here, but then they took the label away. So anyway, but this is the town of Vesele. So the there's a rumor that Russia pushed through this town and captured the entire town. Um, the entire town is not that big. It's just like maybe 20 houses. Like I don't know. So it's not a big town, but it was a reasonably important defensive position. Um, Obviously, very close to Avdiivka, and it is near this position that Russia may or may not have near Krasnohorivka. So it is possible. There's the rumor is that they captured Vesely today, which is like here, and then there's also the rumor that Russians debunked, by the way, that the Russians claim that they don't control this northern part. Um, but it's now possible that they control this entire section. And I'm gonna try to confirm this tomorrow. I know some people in this area, so I'm gonna try to contact them. But um, yeah, it's very unlikely any of these houses exist anymore. These houses probably haven't existed for months or a year. But I mean, when did they? Yeah, yeah, so like May they got here. So Russia has been more or less attacking this position since May. I doubt these houses exist anymore. But anyways, the goal of Russia is obviously to. I need to unclick this so I don't mess things up. Anyway, so they're trying to break through the northern flank of Avdiivka, and obviously they need to get through Krasnohorivka to do this, or Novo they have to go through one of these two towns. Novo they've tried a whole bunch of times, and they can only attack it kind of this way because Ukraine has defensive positions here. Um, and obviously, Russia has been trying to capture Novo and we've seen some videos come out. The videos I think were like more over here, where Russia captured this position and kind of pushed through kind of the middle of the town, and now Ukraine only controls these kind of outskirts. Um, but they do control these outskirts well enough that Russia obviously can't push through here. So then Russia has tried pushing through Novo like months ago, like September, August, something like that. They tried pushing north through here. Um, at one point, they had crossed the highway and reached this railway. So at one point, they had a defensive. Russia had a defensive position somewhere near this railway. I don't exactly know where, but I think it was like right here. And then I don't think Ukraine pushed them out. I think they just gave up because they just didn't have the forces to continue attacking. Like they didn't have enough infantry because at that point um, they had withdrawn almost all of their infantry from the Avdiivka area to send them up to attack Lysychansk. So in the Avdiivka area, they had very, very few infantry. So they were kind of running on fumes when they were doing this attack. So they just didn't have the guys, and then they eventually just fell back. I don't think Ukraine even really did anything. And then more recently, they've been attacking Krasnohorivka and Vesele, and they may have captured Vesele today, and they are now probably going to focus entirely on Krasnohorivka, or I guess they could try crossing this wide open fields and enter this residential area of Avdiivka. I don't think that would go well. I think it's more likely they'll go for Krasnohorivka, but who knows? And one place that I don't think the Russians want to go at all is this coke plant, because it is just a giant industrial area, and Russia is uniquely bad at attacking giant industrial areas. So I'm sure they're going to avoid that and try to go around it somehow. That's why they kind of want to go like through Krasnohorivka and maybe capture Stepove, and then kind of get behind this industrial area. Ukraine's kind of main defensive positions are Berdichi and Orlivka. No, this is coke, as in like the chemical coke. Not not the drug coke and not the drink coke. It is like coal coke. Yeah. So anyways, so they Orlivka and Berdichi, these are kind of the main hubs of the Ukrainian activity in this area. Orlivka is kind of like the HQ. Um, so this is kind of the northern Avdiivka area. The southern Avdiivka area, Russia's attacking from Spartak, and I'm not sure exactly what they're attacking. I know they're attacking north. Um, Logic would say that they would be attacking Zenith from Spartak. This is Zenith. It is a nuclear bunker. You can't see it because it's underground, but this was a Soviet base from like the 1970s or whatever, and it's a major defensive fortification. Um, Ukraine has never lost this position ever in the history of Ukraine. So, or at least the modern history since the 90s, they've never lost this position. Even there was one point where Russia had like taken like all the ground around it, including the ground like above it, and they still held the bunker from like inside the bunker, and then recaptured all this ground. But anyways, so attacking Zenit is a pretty bad idea, and but I do when they say they're attacking from Spartak, Zenit is only a mile from there. So although it's possible they could be attacking kind of they could be attacking like that, I guess, but I'm not sure. But anyways, so um I about like a week ago or whatever, I was told that Russia had been pushed up to around here. Um, and now, yesterday, I read that the Russians were complaining that Ukraine had a counterattack of some sort that pushed them back several hundred meters to this tree line. This tree line, like here, this tree line. See, near Sjeverne, it's a gradual hill up. Um, it's a very gradual hill. I don't even know if you want to call it a hill. It's like a slope. It's just this gradual slope where kind of this tree line was the top of the slope, unfortunately. Um, so, from what I understand, um, Russia had attacked north. They kind of established themselves, and now they're pushed back, and the front line is around this tree line now. So that happened yesterday, I believe. And Pervomaiske, um, I don't know of any changes here, although this town is getting completely destroyed. There's going to be very, uh, very little structures are left in this town. Basically, everything in this yellow area is completely destroyed to nothing, and this blue area is like almost completely destroyed. But yeah, this is otherwise this is pretty flat. It's a very gradual slope, and keep in mind that the way I'm displaying it, the vertical displacement is magnified by 3 times. There are heavily mined areas, yeah. So Zenit is heavily mined. Like this whole area around Zenit is like a ridiculously thick minefield. Like that's why nobody really touches it. Like Russia's not even trying to enter it. Um, um, this area between the airport and like Epitna and Vodiana, this whole area is a giant minefield. Um, and I believe this whole field here, like south of Pisky, this is also a giant minefield, and out to like here is a giant minefield. Um, this kind of northern area up here, like north of Vodiana, I don't know how many mines are here. Um, but south of Vodiana is a very dense minefield, and especially around Zenit. Um, like there is this right here um, was a nursery that grew Christmas trees, and you can kind of see the Christmas trees on the map. Even though you have to imagine that this picture on the map was taken in 2021, and this nursery was destroyed in 2014. So this is like 7, 8 years after it was destroyed, but you can still see the Christmas trees. But anyways, this this nursery is in the minefield, so it's like everything south of these ponds is the minefield. And I heard a story about someone from Epitna in like 2015 or 2014 or whatever. They snuck through this forest line into the nursery to chop down a tree and then carried it back to Epitna so they could have a Christmas tree. Which I thought that story was pretty funny. The mines here, when I say minefield, um, you have to think of these minefields were not laid professionally. They were laid really haphazardly. Nobody even knows where the mines are. They so it's kind of like Ukraine laid some mines, and then Russia laid some mines, and then Ukraine laid some mines, and then Russia laid some mines. So these are just it's minefields on top of minefields on top of minefields on top of minefields. There's so many mines here. I heard from a guy who dug he had to dig a trench, a defensive trench in this area. He said that when he was digging, 1 meter underground, he found a tank mine. A meter underground. That's how many mines there are. It's like it's ridiculous how many mines there are. Um, this area, um, like around the airport, is probably one of the densest mined areas on Earth. Like this is like awful, completely awful. Um, ah, I mean, there's just if you want to talk about mines, there's lots of areas of Ukraine that are heavily mined, like like this area of Kharkiv is heavily mined. Um, like around this whole river is heavily mined on both sides. Um, there's there's mines all throughout like this river here, and there's mines all over the place. But you have to think about it that some of these some of these minefields were laid professionally. Like um I'm sure that the Ukrainian side of this river, the mines were laid professionally. That they, they followed the right patterns. They marked where the field starts and where it ends. They know how many mines they put down. I'm sure that this side of the river was done professionally. This side of the river, I really doubt was done professionally. It was probably pretty haphazard. But clearing these sorts of minefields, you can go in with some tools, all of your mine clearing tools, and go through it. And it might take a really long time, but I think you can more or less clear this sort of stuff. The same is sort of true for like Kherson, where Kherson is very heavily mined, and this part of Mykolaiv here is also heavily mined. So like this whole area that Russia used to control is very heavily mined. There's lots of mines. It's like 1,000 mines per square kilometer or something like that, or more maybe. There's so many mines, but it's a whole other level when you're talking about this area around the Donetsk airport. You're talking a completely different problem where I don't even know how you clear these mines. I think the only way is to just blow it all up. Like I don't there's so many mines. Like this is like it's like it's just a hell. I don't know how else to say it. This is one of the densest mined areas on Earth, like probably in history. Because it's the Ukraine laid a minefield that was very dense, and then Russia laid a minefield that was just as dense on top of it, and then Ukraine laid another one on top of that, and then Russia laid another one on top of that. It's just minefields for days. So I think I might be misremembering the number. I might be wrong on the number, but I think I read that there's 80 million hectares of mined territory in Ukraine. I think it was 80 million, or maybe it was 80 million, and maybe it was 30. I can't remember. I can't remember if 80 million was how many were mined, or if 80 million is how big is the whole country. It's one or the other. But anyways, it's a lot of hectares. It's a lot. It's a lot of, because just think about it, like this whole area is mined, like all of it. Like you've heard, like this whole river is mined. This whole area is mined too. So it's just there's mines everywhere. It's just mines, mines, mines. So everywhere is a mine. But anyways, so um near Nevelske, there was a video that I think I can show you from Nevelske. Let me grab it for real fast. I believe this is Nevelske, I believe. I don't even know if this video is new or not. Um, yeah, that's a video from Nevelska. Um, it's this town here. It's a very, very small town. Um, but it's incredibly important to Russia. Um, the importance of the town is mostly because they want to push like that. More or less, that's what they want to do. Because if you look at the greater situation here, uh, Marinka, they can't get through. Krasnohorivka, they're not even trying to get through. Um, then there's Pervomaiske, which obviously they're having issues with. Their only option left is really Nevelska. So Nevelska has been a major point that Russia is trying to get through. It's incredibly important to them. They can't get through the town itself, so they're trying to now flank it. They're trying to go between Pervomaiske and Nevelske. So they are pushing this way now. They tried that way, didn't work. They tried that way, didn't work. So now they're trying this way. They have partial success, as you see. They've moved up to like here. But this is kind of the main Russian attack in the Avdiivka area is here. And the secondary attack is this Vesele area. So anyways, moving south to Maryinka, not much is happening to my knowledge. There are a whole bunch of like really depressing videos and whatnot, but that's about it. Pobieda, Russia kind of moved up to this forest strip on the outskirts, but other than that, not much. Okay, I banned the troll. Can everybody stop fighting now?